Between the tip of Florida, the island of Bermuda, and the coast of Puerto Rico, there is a stretch of ocean that has swallowed ships whole. Planes have vanished mid-flight without a distress call, without debris, without explanation. Hundreds of vessels, thousands of lives, gone. Governments have investigated it. Scientists have studied it. Conspiracy theorists have built entire careers around it. And to this day, no single explanation has ever fully closed the case. This is the Bermuda Triangle. And the truth, both what science knows and what it still can't explain, is stranger than either side wants to admit. The Bermuda Triangle covers roughly 500,000 square miles of ocean in the North Atlantic. It is one of the most heavily traveled shipping and flight corridors in the world. And for decades, it has carried a reputation as a graveyard, a place where the normal rules of navigation, survival, and physics seem to stop applying. The legend really took hold in 1945. On December 5th, 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers, Flight 19, took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida on a routine training mission. All 5 planes vanished. A rescue aircraft sent to find them also disappeared. 14 men on the bombers, 13 men on the rescue plane, 27 people gone in a single afternoon. No wreckage was ever found. The flight leader's last reported words before radio contact was lost. Everything looks wrong. Even the ocean doesn't look as it should. That line has haunted aviation history ever since. Over the following decades, the disappearance accumulated. The USS Cyclops, a Navy cargo ship carrying 309 people, vanished in 1918 without sending a single distress signal. The Star Tiger and Star Ariel, 2 commercial aircraft, disappeared in 1948 and 1949 respectively. In each case, no debris, no bodies, no explanation. By the 1970s, the Bermuda Triangle had become the most famous mystery on Earth. Then the scientists arrived, and they had a different story to tell. The first thing researchers pointed out was this: the Bermuda Triangle is not actually among the most dangerous stretches of ocean in the world. Lloyd's of London, the insurance market that covers ships globally, does not charge higher premiums for vessels passing through it. The U.S. Coast Guard does not officially recognize it as a hazardous zone. When investigators went back through the documented disappearance, they found something consistent: a pattern of incomplete reporting. Ships and planes that vanished in the triangle were often already in trouble before they entered the area. Weather conditions were frequently severe. Pilot error and navigation failures were common factors, and many of the dramatic disappearances attributed to the triangle actually happened outside its boundaries. The geography had simply been stretched to fit the narrative. But the ocean in that region is also uniquely dangerous in entirely natural ways. The Gulf Stream, one of the most powerful ocean currents on Earth, runs directly through it, capable of rapidly dispersing wreckage and bodies across vast distances. The weather shifts fast and violently, but the seafloor is extraordinarily deep in places, meaning wreckage that sinks simply disappears into depths that make recovery nearly impossible. Methane hydrate eruptions have also been proposed, pockets of gas frozen in the seafloor that, when released, reduce water density dramatically. A ship above such an eruption could lose buoyancy so suddenly it would sink before any distress signal could be sent. Aircraft flying through the released gas cloud could experience engine failure. It is a compelling scientific explanation, largely accepted, largely reasonable. But it doesn't answer everything. Flight 19 remains genuinely unexplained. The conditions that day were not catastrophic. The pilots were experienced. The equipment was functional at departure, and 5 aircraft flying in formation do not simply vanish simultaneously without leaving a single trace in 500,000 square miles of ocean, even accounting for the Gulf Stream. The rescue aircraft that disappeared looking for them, a Boeing PBM Mariner, was later theorized to have exploded mid-air due to a fuel leak. A ship in the area reported seeing a sudden flash of fire in the sky. That explanation is plausible, but it was never confirmed. There have also been accounts from pilots flying through the triangle of compass malfunctions, sudden electronic failures, and what some describe as an eerie visual distortion, a kind of white haze that appears without warning and disorients navigation entirely. These accounts come not from conspiracy theorists, but from experienced commercial and military aviators. In 2016, scientists studying hexagonal cloud formations over the triangle proposed that these unusual clouds could generate microbursts, sudden, powerful blasts of air hitting the surface at speeds of up to 170 miles per hour, capable of generating 45-foot waves with virtually no warning, enough to sink a ship or bring down a plane in seconds. It was a fascinating theory. Scientists also noted they still couldn't confirm it had ever actually caused a disappearance. Here is where things stand. The Bermuda Triangle is almost certainly not a portal to another dimension. It is almost certainly not the location of a lost alien civilization, or the ruins of Atlantis generating electromagnetic pulses from the seafloor. Theories that exist and have audiences. But it is also not fully explained. The ocean is deep, the weather is violent, the current is powerful, and sometimes people and vessels and aircraft vanish there in ways that the standard explanations don't quite cover. The truth about the Bermuda Triangle is more uncomfortable than either the believers or the debunkers want to acknowledge. It is not a supernatural mystery, but it is not a solved do either. It is a stretch of ocean where, more than almost anywhere else on Earth, the gap between what we know and what we can prove becomes very, very visible. And ships keep sailing through it. Planes keep flying over it. Every single day. Most of them make it through just fine. If you'll think twice the next time you see a flight path over the Atlantic, that's exactly the point. Subscribe for more videos like this.